Yo, what is up? We're streaming. I'm taking a little break from trying to catch all the Gen 1s. Just a short break. I really want to try to get a shiny, I always forget how to pronounce it. Dragalge. The audio is out of sync. Let's fix that. Mamma mia. Mamma mia. Oh, mama. Here we go. My son actually went to bed on time, which is nice. He's been breaking my balls the last couple nights. But I love him. It'd be like that sometimes, you know. Ad break. Lame is lame. Awesome. Lame. Alright. Uh-oh. I spoke too soon. My son is crying. I will give him 5 minutes and then check on him. Sometimes he just has to cry it out, you know? Hi. What do you want, Gyarados? Jeez Louise. Ugh. Screw you, Skrelp. Oh, he stopped crying. He's definitely in his crib. I can't tell if he's laying down or not. Like, the webcam is like, or the monitor for his camera is really far away. I can see movement, but I can't tell if he's laying down or if he's standing up. If he were standing up, he'd be on the other side of the crib, so I think he is laying down. Silly boy. My precious baby boy. So we got this, like, all the way down to fucking nothing. I think this is, like, peak, odds right now. We're sitting at peak odds. Okay. Alright. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Back and forth, back and forth. Ah, dang it. Oh, he turned his machine on. I think he did it to help himself sleep. That's when you know he's ready for bed. When he turns his little music box on. If he isn't tired and he really wants out of bed and wants to stay up, he'll turn his music box off. But he turned it on. That means he's tired. Might be why he woke up. Because the music box turned off. He's very self-reliant. So independent. He's a very good boy. I'm very lucky to have him. Why hello there. The Umbral Drawn Gore Magala. Holy moly. That is quite the name. I hope I didn't miss you. the chat box for YouTube is just way over here on my other monitor. I forgot to open up chat on my phone so I could see it better. You can call me Umbral for short. Umbral, what is up, dude? Thanks for liking the stream and just, you know, hanging out. That's what we're all about here. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. If I found a shiny Skrelp, that'd be pretty cool. One time, while I was shiny hunting Seadra, I found a horsey. Is that what they're called, a horsey? I can't remember. It's been so long. Where are the fuck? Those weasel just getting in the way, man. It's getting in the way. More cereal? Come on. Boom. Look at all these derps. These poison dragons. A lot of poison dragons, dude. Dawn, that's kind of cool. And yeah, it's horsey. Oh, damn, that's kind of cool. And yeah, it's horsey. Thank you. Nothing here. Nothing here. No, no, no. Here we go. Don't want to potentially miss out. Alright. You play, Pokemon? I can only assume. Ooh, I should put shiny giveaway in the title, because if I'm playing Scarlet and Violet, I think I got lots of shinies I could give away. I currently don't have any shinies. I gotta go into Pokemon Home to get them. Mamma mia. Nope, nope. Those don't look shiny to me. Very docile Pokemon. Not worried about attacking me. Those are the annoying ones. The ones that are always on the attack. That and really small Pokemon. It's like the only thing worse than really small Pokemon would be Pokemon that hide underwater like that. I hate those ones so much. Yeah, I do, and your horsey encounter just reminds me of the time I was hunting Tapig and a single Squirtle spawned, and that was the only shiny of the sandwich. Huh. Weird. It's weird when stuff like that happens. Statistically, a statistical anomaly. Should really. I don't have any ingredients to make a sandwich, but I think I have enough points to go buy like the level 1 shiny sandwich to increase my shiny odds. I mean, there's basically no reason why I shouldn't go do that. Unless I don't have enough points. In which case... I only have 100 points? Oh yeah, I spent them all to get the starters. Yeah, so I couldn't even buy the sandwich. Yikes. Wah, wah. Whee! Let's get out of here, man. No, no, I don't want none of y'all. I'm excited for the 4 seasonal events that are going to be happening from July 12th to September 1st. 4 seasonal events. In this game? Or in Pokemon Go. When I think of special events, I think of Pokemon Go, but I don't see why this game couldn't have them. Check the news. Poke Portal, I think, has the news. No. Am I crazy? Connect it. Oh, I have to connect it? Oh, yeah, I guess that makes sense. I hate connecting to the internet. Just that whole process is very dumb to me. Did it work? Okay. You are now connected to the internet. Okay. Prepare for search for Pikachu and friends. Nice. Coming soon. Special Terra Raid battles. And mass outbreaks in 4 seasonal events. Oh, the little fishy things. Those are tough ones to find. That'll be nice. Good opportunity to shiny hunt those. I pretty much have all these other Pokemon. Yeah, I have all of these Pokemon except for the for the little fish things and Wishcast, or not Wishcast, but the whale, the catfish whale thing. Cool Pokemon. They all have outbreaks that are gonna have boosted odds. Very cool. Yeah, I'm excited to try to get me some little sushi fish things. Nice. Oh, no, I don't want it to attack. There's not many left. Boosted odds, baby. Let's do this. Thought I saw something in the sky. Oh, I did for a second. Bye, see ya. Wouldn't wanna be ya unless you're shiny. Okay. Nice. After I catch this Pokemon, I'm gonna go back to trying to catch the 151 original Gen 1 Pokemon. I think until 12 o'clock tonight, I can catch a Dugong and Dugtrio, which I need for my living dex. Okay. In the first part, I'm gonna hunt for a Alolan Raichu. I did a Alolan Raichu in Let's Go Pikachu. That was a very tedious shiny hunt. It's like a full odds. It's not too horrible because if you catch 30 Raichu, then you can just spam the A button and trade 30 Raichu for 30 Alolan Raichu. And after a while, I eventually got it. Hooray! So I got shiny Pichu, shiny Pikachu, shiny Raichu, shiny Alolan Raichu. One of my smaller goals is to get all the shiny Pikachu clones. And I have a nice chunk of them. Sometimes I'll boot Sword and Shield up, and I will hatch eggs to try to get Emolga, which is my favorite Pikachu clone. With their backs turned, it's a little hard to tell. I don't think. I know the shiny is for this one in particular is fairly obvious. It's pretty different. But the lighting effects in this game suck so hard. A lot of the Pokemon just kind of blend together. This is not a bad spot. They all kind of spawn together in this big cluster, which makes it easy to like swim around them and get a really good look. Tune in for the best shiny hunting tips. Oh yeah. I'm a master. Luna. My cat's sleeping on my bed. No, 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 no. 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 Whoa, excuse me. I'm not seeing ya. I'm not seeing any. Jeez, there's like a whole bunch clustered right there. How we doing, chat? You son of a biscuit. How frickin' dare you? Dog. No shinies. F off, dude. Come on. Really want this one. Give it to me. Oh, I can't make a water sandwich. It's a freaking dragon poison. Ugh. Dun 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 dun. Nope. Nope. Don't look shiny to me, man. What other 51 Pokemon do you need to get shiny? A lot of evolutions. I need Dugong, Dugtrio. I need Ghastly, Weezing, Ekans, Arbok. Moltres, Articuno. I have Zapdos, Mewtwo, and Mew. So I got some of the hardest ones out of the way. What else? What else? There's a ton. I got Scyther. It's hard to... I've got a list in front of me. No, I have Lapras. Oh, Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan. Drowsy and Hypno. Drowsy and Hypno. Nidoran, male, Nidorino, and Nidoking. I don't think I have any of those. I have the female Nidoran line finished. Oh, Growlithe. I have Arcanine, I have Wigglytuff, and I have Venomoth, but I don't have Growlithe, Jigglypuff, or Venonat. Or Abra. I don't have Abra. Oh my god, I forgot about Abra. I have Kadabra and Alakazam, but I don't have Abra. You'll have to start naming some Pokemon off. I feel like I've named quite a few. There's just so many Pokemon. I got Porygon. I got the full Pidgey line recently. I didn't have any of the Pidgeys or the Oddish line, and now I have all of them. I got all the Pidgeys and all the Oddish. Oh, okay. Oh, Executor. I need Marowak. I have Execute, and I have Alolan Executor, but I'm not counting Alolan forms. Or Galarian forms. What else? Kangaskhan. Now, I recently got Weedle, Kakuna, and Beedrill. That was a tedious one. I kept getting the wrong Pokemon. I got like 100 frickin' Pidgeys and Metapods. The fact that it's daytime kind of helps me see these better. Dude, if those Skrelps were shiny, I would not be able to tell you. Why is it so hard to see anything in this game? It's freaking brutal. Legends Arceus had an open world, and they didn't have this problem. I didn't have to worry about Pokemon fucking being too small and blurry. It's like a different group of people, a different team. I mean, they were probably being worked on at the same time, so yeah, it was probably different people. Yeah, even though this game is like the easiest game to shiny hunt in, it's one of my least favorites because of all these small little flaws that just hinder the experience. The poor graphics, the small sprites, no sound effect when a shiny appears, no sparkles to go with the shiny. You know, at least I do this rant almost every stream, but you know, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee at least had sparkling shinies, and Legends Arceus at least had sound effects. This game has neither of those. And Sword and Shield didn't have shinies in the open world, so you had to encounter them old school style. So I think if you're going to have Pokemon in the world and make their sprites shiny, you know, make their overworld models shiny, you gotta have something. Especially if you're gonna have shit graphics. Like, that's not fair. Even to non-shiny hunters, you know? So many casual players are gonna miss out on shinies because of these small, dumb flaws that could have... First of all, shouldn't even exist. Like, it's like a multi-billion-dollar company. And secondly, it's not fair for people to miss a shiny over something dumb like that you could have fixed easily with sparkles or a sound effect. In this case, I'd almost say sound effect or sparkles, because it's so hard to see anything in this game. So the sparkles, but yeah, a sound effect would be good too. Especially since Pokemon can spawn behind you, which normally wouldn't be a problem for a casual player, but as a shiny hunter, it's like, what if I'm moving away from a shiny that just appeared behind me? Yeah, I can complain for days. I mean, that's pretty much it. That's like my whole rant. Shut up, Gyarados. You occurred. Come back to me when you can make it evolve, okay? Do 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 do. Wow. Look at all those non-shiny dragali algae dragalgy dragalgy. No. No. No, 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 no. Stupid Dragonite. Stupid. Wish I could just hover over them. Like flying on a Charizard and Let's Go Pikachu. No. Nope. Nope. Nerp. Got me a freaking shiny Meteor the other day, or last night actually. Very psyched about that one because I lost one. I was shiny hunting it and it used self-destruct and I lost it. But this time I caught it. I caught it. This shiny bastard is mine. Whew. Yeah, I don't think that's shiny. Shiny is noticeably different. I wish there was a way I could call out to the Pokemon so they'd turn and look at me. You know, I would have accepted like a targeting system that shows you if it's shiny or not. None of these have medals. That's weird. Or ribbons. Bro. Come on. Breaking my balls here. You're about to make me bail. Yeah, I could spend like a few minutes at each one and just move on to the next and cycle through them every few minutes. That way I'm not getting too bored. Because this shit is boring. Especially since like anything water related in this game fucking sucks. It royally sucks. Sucks. Big fat butts. Nope, 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 nope. Alright. Could put this one on the back burner. I'm not even looking at the Pokemon on the shore. They could end up being shiny and I wouldn't even know. No! Yeah. I got no clue about Scarlet. I mean, if I looked really hard, maybe I'd notice, but it's just not easy with these lighting effects. Hi. Agron, what's up? It's been a minute. Whee! Don't know if I should sleep right now or no. I wish I had a clever question to help you answer that yourself, but I don't. Are you tired? It's really late. It's 6:10. Oh, I mean, you're fucked. I mean, you might as well just stay up for the rest of the day. You, sir, are screwed. If it were me, I would just stay up for the rest of the day. But I'm on holiday, you know? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you shouldn't beat yourself up too much. Oh. Oh, I see what you're saying. How long's your holiday? Like, you're gonna have to get back in the groove eventually. I don't know if you're like on summer break or you are just on holiday at your job. Like, I don't know. I don't know how old you people are. Until 14th of August. Holy shit. So you must be a student. Well, this is an annoying stupid 16. Right, okay. 16 is okay. Don't be embarrassed about being 16. Just teasing. Ah, shit. It's a lot different here than the US. I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is. I work at a school. So, you know, we still have summer break. Yeah, I'm not embarrassed. I know it's a joke. Older people, like, I remember being 16. It sucked. And, like, 16-year-olds think they can hang. And maybe, yeah, in a Twitch chat, they definitely can. It's just funny. I find it funny. Why don't you attack it? Like, just because it's taking a few seconds for the animation to actually go through doesn't mean you shouldn't attack it. The only bad thing is having nothing to do at the moment. Yeah. I mean, I got my streaming. I have a son. I got shit to do, you know. If I were a kid, 16, man, I'd fuck my girlfriend. That's what my wife and I used to do, you know, when we were in high school, when we had nothing to do. The only thing I can do right now is blast music or look into family ancestry. Ancestry, that's kind of fun. Music's cool. I mean, you could watch YouTube videos. I mean, I didn't have like a smartphone when I was 16. I didn't have a smartphone for a very long time. But yeah, finding a good podcast or something, a good YouTube channel that you're really into. Yeah, I already looked into family names and stuff. Nice. I want to do that one of these days. I'm just lazy. Stupid birds. You're not shiny, are you? No, you're not shiny. There are like no freaking Dugtrio. Get him. Oh, so stupid. Only 2 families in the world carry my name. Both from the same area in Denmark. That's insane. Wow. Aren't you special? This is super annoying. Maybe you can go visit them one day. You know, you found them through family ancestry, you know, or like ancestry.com or something, then odds are they're probably related to you by blood. Dun, 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 dun. Dugtrio kind of sucks. So my family were Vikings at one point. Nice. It's cool. That is cool. Until you know, think of the implications. You know, Vikings were known for a lot of stuff. My family ancestry could be traced back to the Trail of Tears, which is this path that the indigenous people of Florida were forced to take from Florida to, it's like halfway across the country. I don't know, like Arizona or something. And then there's my mom's side, totally different. I mean, that's how it goes nowadays. Unless you're just super, like, homogenous or something. Attack! My shiny slug. Not a fan of this Dugtrio. Mom is 100% Russian. Nice. I mean, Russia's got some, you know, some cool culture and stuff. The government sucks. The people in power there kind of suck, but that's not your mom's fault. Worm. Oh no, this is gonna take a while. Freaking Dugtrio, man. This is a shitty shiny to go for. Holy crap. Okay. Are you part of this? So my mom's side is pretty cool with Babushka coming to Siberia as a working force. Family history is pretty cool. Unless I guess you come from somewhere boring or something. Nice. My grandpa being a well-off from St. Petersburg. Oh, okay, okay. I don't know much about St. Petersburg. I know it's a town in Russia. My history is cool, IMO. Yeah, it's definitely cool. We. I wouldn't say town. City? Country? What? More like big city. Got it. That's dope. You watch any good shows, man? Like, it's easy to get sucked into like a good show or anime. My wife and I are sort of in the process of rewatching Naruto. I meant it was this capital at one point. Oh, yeah. I mean, that makes sense. I watched the latest season of Demon Slayer. I need to watch Demon Slayer. Everybody says it's great. I just fucking I watched like the first few episodes and the pacing was just so crazy. You know, I grew up watching like Naruto and Dragon Ball, and they really fucking take their time with shit. And the pacing's a lot slower and methodical. Demon Slayer is just like bam, bam, bam. Like the first few episodes were just like, it's like I feel like if that show was made 20 years ago, that training arc with the forest, the demon forest, that would have been like a 20 episode arc if it came out fucking 20 years ago, you know? And that could have been a lot more interesting. I think like 12 episodes is kind of like a sweet spot for some arcs. Maybe it could have been a 12 episode arc, but it was like 2 fucking episodes. It was just so fast, and then I don't know. I just had a really hard time getting into it. I think it's good, and I want to try again, but I'm lazy. I love me some good animation. I do love me some good animation. I'm a sucker for good animation. I'm also a sucker for a good rom-com. You should watch Love is War. It's one of the funniest shows I've ever seen. Specifically, the English dub, in my opinion, is funnier. Oh, you are glistening in the light, my friend. That is super cute, Shiny. Oh, wait, my TV started doing that thing where it needs to hit the corner. Needs to hit the corner. You're talking about... Sounds like you're talking about, like, the DVD player that goes... Do, 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 and then... Bonk. 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 I'm going off. Okay. Yeah, that. That's funny. Gotta keep looking for that shiny. I don't even know how many of these things I've killed. Normally it says, oh, there's not very many left. But I haven't seen that notification. It's also hard to pay attention when progress is so slow. I didn't know it was still a thing. That's funny. Neither did I. I think Shiny Dugtrio has a blue nose or something. Whoa, hello. There's a lot of y'all over there. Don't mind if I knock your ass out. Beautiful Shiny. Can the rest of you turd sandwiches get out of the way? Get the Doug trio. Do you speak any other languages? No. It's not for lack of trying. It's just really hard to stick to it. Spanish would be a very practical language to learn in my country. There's a lot of Spanish-speaking people. There's also a culture here. Like an anti-bilingual culture. Like, there's a decent chunk of people who are like against learning another language, and they're just like, no, they should learn English if they want to live in this country. It's like you're being a dick. Like, yeah, if you're gonna move to America, you should probably pick up on some English. That doesn't mean you shouldn't learn a new language, especially if there's like a lot of that people here, you know? I don't know. A lot of people I talk to, I'd say, oh, like, I should really learn Spanish. It'd be so helpful. And they're like, no, you shouldn't have to learn Spanish. It's like, no, they should learn English. I'm like, whatever. So yeah, there's like a weird anti-bilingual culture here. Yeah, in the US, I've seen a lot of people hate on different languages. It's not the language, it's the people. Particularly their skin color. They won't ever admit it. But it's like, why are you hounding them for no reason? They'll spout fake statistics to justify, hating on people. But then you say, oh, well, actually, that stuff isn't true. And it's like, and then they move the goalpost. It's like, oh, it's because the color of their skin. That's what your issue is with. Because they don't really harp on, white passing people from other countries. They're not up in arms about Canadians crossing the border. But IMO, if you're moving permanently to a place, you should pick up on the language in general. Absolutely. I mean, that's just a practical thing you should do. Oh, let's go, dude. Shiny Doug Trio. Let's fucking go. Thank God. That's a small one, too. Yeah, let's hit him with the Dusk Ball, baby. I should have gone with the other. Oh, it's critical. Whatever. So, like, if you were to move to Denmark, I would absolutely give it a shot, Try to make some friends locally, try to pick up on the language. It might be a slowly but surely type of process. It also depends on how long I might be staying there. Like, if it's only a couple months, I might be less inclined to. I'd be a bit annoyed if you didn't give any thought of learning the language. I mean, yeah. And it's not like Mexicans who come here don't think about it. I know some of them don't bother because they don't see the point. They're going to be hated anyways. You speaking English isn't, like, they're just going to be hated anyways, and they're going to be seen as a problem no matter what. So, from people, yeah, their perspective, I get it. Some of them, it's like, what's the fucking point? They're never going to accept me anyways. I'll just let my kids do the talking, blah, blah, blah. That being said, they should still try. I mean, it's just so practical. It's going to help you and your family out. It's also tough because it might be kind of hard to seek out a program. You won't ever get down the accent, but still. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's true. I mean, unless you maybe you dedicate your life to that language, like studying it, like maybe you become a teacher or something. I know somebody who teaches Korean, or no, teaches English in South Korea. They, I think they got a full ride, like a full scholarship. All they have to do is, teach for like 5 or 6 years or something. The only person I've seen close to getting the accent is Queen Mary. I don't know who Queen Mary is. Sorry. Maybe I'm just an uncultured swine. Hey, I have a question. Since you're from the fuck Jesus, I know that in your country politically it's kind of rough right now. She's Australian but joined the Danish royal family. Oh, that's cute. I was gonna ask you about your political situation over there, but I'm curious. What's the consensus? I mean, it's not that rough in Denmark. Oh, you're in Denmark. Sorry. I assumed when you said the UK that you were like... Did you say UK? I'd have to scroll back. Sounds like you're saying Denmark. What's the consensus in Denmark? Like, do you guys... I never said UK. I must have imagined that. Yeah. Anyways. In your neck of the woods, what's your guys' opinion on, like, Donald Trump, for instance? I'm curious. Okay, now we can move on to... I can't believe I got that Doug Trio. That's so lucky. We'll go for Dugong. Oh, we hate everything about the U.S. No offense. I mean, there's got to be something. Like, we're not all Republican. Like, liberals are annoying. I'll give you that. But conservatives are, like, trying to ruin the world. Which is really frustrating. Supreme Court, Donald Trump, it's all horrible, man. It's horrible. We probably look like a bunch of fucking buffoons over here. But trust me, like, more than half of the country is... Statistically, more than half the country is against, like, Donald Trump. That right there, too. 2 sides. The fact that we're stuck on 2 sides... Or that, like, my mindset. Because I'm very, very much against, like, this, like, middle road centrist thing. Like, there is one side is clearly, unequivocally worse than the other. That being said, this is also partially the left's fault. Liberals' fault for being just giant pussies and letting this happen. When they had all this political power and didn't do anything to... codify our fucking rights into existence. Your entire country is split in half, being pushed further away. Yeah. I mean, there's like one side that's like... I mean, you can call it sides, but there are divides even within those quote-unquote 2 sides. Both sides have good and bad. Extremists are the problem. That's fair. But see, that's also, like, that's a very, very easy, very sort of, on the surface, it sounds nuanced, but it's actually not. They're, like, they tried to commit insurrection 4 years ago, the people on the right, like the more sycophantic Trump supporters. And then the ones who aren't super sycophantic are still going to vote for him, and they don't care that they, like, committed insurrection and that Donald Trump, like, denies the election results. Like, they don't... It's just so horrible right now. And regarding the status of the U.S. in the eyes of everyone else, everyone are extremists. And regarding the status of the U.S. and your system is horrible. Yeah, the system sucks. Yeah, we definitely need, like, a new system. I don't know what that system would look like. The Electoral College needs to go, that's for sure. because the Electoral College, like, it causes, like, the last 2 Republican presidents didn't win the popular vote. Most of the country voted for the other person, and then George Bush and Donald Trump still won their elections. Everyone in the U.S. are extremists compared to most European countries, for example. But there's some fucking psychos in the UK, man. I've seen it. Like Turf Island, for example, you know. They're just so unbelievably anti-trans that it's crazy. I said most. Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Yeah. So, like, some of the, those, like, Denmark, Norway, to us, a lot of Americans, they're like, because I know you guys rank really high on, like, the happiness index or something like that. The UK isn't good at all. Right. I'm sure, yeah, I'm sure there's plenty about, like, the government in other countries that I don't know about. Yeah, the Nordics are some of the best in the entire world. Yeah, that's what I've heard. Simply just based simply on like the happiness index, which I think, you know, people being happier is more important. It's probably the most important thing. As long as you're happy, and that happiness comes from being, what's the word? Well, like, just having your needs, your basic needs met. Happiness, safety, corruption, and so on. Yeah. Yeah. They tend to do a good job making sure that their citizens have their basic needs met. And then from there, you could really focus on just, like, trying to be happy. America isn't about that. We have, like, a really toxic work culture starting to break down. Okay. This is a really good spot. It's like, they're just there, here, and there. Not a bad spot, not a bad spot. I love Gudra. Gudra is great. Hi, Team Avatar. How you doing? Sorry I didn't notice your chat earlier. I've been on this rant. Does anybody know what Shiny Dugong looks like? It's like yellow, right? It's like a very faint yellow. I hope I can actually see it when it actually shows up. Whew. My jaw kind of hurts from talking so much. It's so funny. Like, the psychos I've been talking about, they have such a negative view of your country. They think, like, you guys are, like, socialist and communist. It's so funny. Just how ignorant they are. I really don't want to say anything, like, wrong in your eyes because, quite frankly, I don't like the U.S. at all. I think that's a very valid opinion to have. Like, I don't blame you at all. I don't have the greatest opinion of my country either. I think we say we stand for certain things and then our actions are the opposite. Like, if we really care about, like, freedom and the pursuit of happiness, it's like a yellowish tan, thank you. Then you gotta meet people's basic needs, you know? If you can't do that, then it's really hard to pursue happiness and to achieve, like, true freedom. And called us socialists is a bit weird, and we definitely aren't communists. Yeah, like, if you ask people on the right, Republicans, conservatives, they're gonna call your country's socialists because you guys have free healthcare, and pretty much no other reason. Like, I guess you can say, like, free healthcare is like a socialist program, but it's not socialism. They call Canada socialist. Like, like they don't even really know what that fucking means. They don't know. They just you know, buzzwords that they hear on Fox News. You know, they don't really. Many of the people in this country don't really know what they believe, and they don't have any real principles. Because if they did, they wouldn't fucking keep voting for Republicans, or at least Donald Trump, in the very least. But they all fell in line, and they're all just fucking psychos now, because like that's what their party wants. A lot of countries. I'll wait until the ad stops. What starter would you recommend for Scarlet? Good question. I would go with Foy Coco. Because Skeledirge's signature move is so overpowered. You literally just have to spam it and it gets stronger every time you use it. You can basically wipe the everyone's team. Some of them are a little more challenging. You're gonna have to really focus up. Let's see what we got here. Now that the ad is over. A lot of countries around the world have free healthcare. I know, it's fucking crazy. Actually, like, nearly all of them. I know. It's because, we have this... We're just super against it. Like, giving things out for free. I don't know why. It's... They say it's, like, socialist or whatever. But, honestly, I think you can make a pro-capitalist argument for free healthcare. And you guys have a sleepy, mentally deprived man and an orange felon to vote for. Like, what? I know. Have you ever heard the Bo Burnham song, I Can't Believe They're Gonna Make Me Vote for Joe Biden? I think about that song a lot. Because, I can't believe they're gonna make me vote for Joe Biden. Like, it's definitely getting lower. Okay. Yeah, really sucks. Is that shiny? That one might be shiny. I think it might just be the lighting. Yeah, just the lighting. Ugh. Fuck, dude. The lighting makes all of them look yellow. That sucks. Lighting in this game sucks. Yeah, no, I'm Danish. Well, I hope it works out for you, being Danish. Yeah, it's kind of weird. I don't really know what the future is going to look like. Because politics kind of always ends up the same. But this is so completely and utterly bizarre. You ask anybody, and politics has completely changed in this country from fucking 20 years ago. And it's really, I think it started with like Obama. They were so scared, like the powers that be were so scared that they lost the presidency to a black guy. And that, I think, made them question everything they knew. And then they decided to throw, like, the fucking whole world out of whack. So yeah, I don't know what the future holds. It's kind of scary. I haven't heard the song, is what I mean. Oh. Sorry. Jesus. My bad. So it's from the Netflix special. Bo Burnham's Netflix special. I don't know. It's a Netflix exclusive thing, so I don't see why you wouldn't have it on Netflix. Maybe you don't have Netflix. But it's Bo Burnham special called Inside. And there's a song, very short song. It's called I Can't Believe They're Gonna Make Me Vote for Joe Biden. But regarding the immigrant thing you said, I don't think it should be so prevalent, especially in Europe. Danish Netflix. has different stuff than I agree. They're definitely going to have different stuff. But you guys would have all the Netflix exclusives. They're not going to lock you guys out of Netflix exclusives, are they? Like, I don't know why you wouldn't get Bo Burnham's Inside Special, because it's exclusive to Netflix. But, you know, maybe it is different. I have no idea. But regarding the immigrant thing you said, I don't think it should be so prevalent, especially in Europe. Could you elaborate on that? I'm curious. Like, I feel like I talked a lot about immigrants, and I said a lot of different things, so I don't know specifically. Yeah, of course. I mean, it depends on the national regulations. I'm more based on personal experience as well. Right. I think a lot of us just have to go off personal experience. But don't go... So that's... Personal experience is rough, though, because you could have a lot of beliefs that aren't necessarily true just because of your personal experience. Like, maybe you just, like, for example, maybe you have a bad experience in, like, a black neighborhood. And it's like, oh, then you have a bad opinion of black people or something. And then you think, like, oh, all black people are bad or something stupid like that. When in actuality, it's more of, like, people being forced into poverty. And then when you're impoverished, you commit more crime and you're less educated, you're more arrogant. And you get into trouble more. And unfortunately, that's I don't mean any race specifically. I live in a decently well-off area, but a few kilometers north is a ghetto. I don't mean any race specifically. Okay, well, a lot of this stuff is so heavily race specific in the United States because of systemic racism. Black people and other people of color, because of decades-old racist systems, you know, weren't able to accumulate, like, generational wealth and stuff. And so they've just been stuck in poor neighborhoods for so long that they're almost stuck. And you can be like, you know, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, blah, blah, blah. But that's not, like, literally can't work for everyone. So you have to fix the system. And most people don't even want to admit that there's a problem with the system. It's like, show me a racist law. Show me a racist law. It's like, well, then if that's your argument, you're not really understanding. But second generational immigrants are statistically shown to do so much more crime, not because of economic state. See, that's interesting you said that, because in our country, for instance, first generational like immigrants, like Mexicans, they statistically commit less crime, but then their children and their children's children commit more crime. They don't commit more crime than other people do. They commit as much crime as we do. So it's not because they're immigrant, it's because they're actually becoming more nationalized each generation. Which to me, but because of the fact that you said second generation immigrants tells me that it's not because they're immigrants, it's because they're becoming more nationalized. Maybe they're not maybe feel a little more entitled. They're not as afraid. They're not afraid of getting fucking deported. Not in this case in Europe. You're gonna have to be more. So why, in your opinion, do you think second generation immigrants commit more crime? Oh, I gotta stop killing these things, I think. Well, it doesn't matter. With the deportation, you will still be deported. Birth in Denmark doesn't give citizenship. Okay. All right. That still doesn't really explain why. I know I'm just taking you at your word, of course. But it doesn't really explain why second generation immigrants are commit more crime. Because as far as I can tell, when you say that maybe they're just, yeah, even though that fear is still there, they were born there. They didn't have to immigrate there. So maybe they don't have that same fear that maybe their parents had. Birth, yeah. I mean, I can only theorize so much. I know so little about the immigrant situation in Denmark. Here's the thing. I know this. Statistically, immigration is almost always a net positive. In any country. People, people spreading their culture, different points of view, is good for any culture. For example, it's shown that also the first generation does more crime than actual Danish people, and then by each generation it's shown to get worse and worse. That's very interesting. I'm curious why that would be. Yeah. Because it's like the opposite in the United States when it comes to Mexican immigration. So that's very, very interesting. And you mentioned ghettos. So again, to me it comes off, so they're essentially being born into poverty. Which means if you're continuously born into poverty, you're far more likely to commit crime. So if they could create, again, so it sounds like a systemic issue to me. I've seen it myself with kids my age in the ghetto running around with loud music, screaming, and with drugs and alcohol and stuff. No, not really, because here poverty isn't as prevalent. If it's a fucking ghetto, then there's some that implies poverty. Like they're being forced into a low income area. That's like what a ghetto is. Education is free. That doesn't mean education is good. Education is free here too. And we have like a really shit education, because education here is based off like the income of the surrounding areas. So if you're in a itch. If what was I saying? So if you're in like a well-off area, your school's gonna have more funds, and therefore you statistically are more well-off. In this area, it's completely fine. You should trust me here on my word. Yeah, see, this is the problem. This is when you said, because this is all, some statistical stuff, but you're also coming off with a lot of personal experience. Personal experience can be misleading. It could be a difference in culture. It could be poverty. Poverty will cause you to commit more crime and do worse in school. Which just makes it worse. I will not trust you on your word because I've been in the exact same experience as those people. So, are you saying it's their culture? Or are you saying something else? What do you think the root of the problem is? I'm going to go to a different area. Oh, yes, the dragon, Drogalgy. Boom. Because I'm in, okay. Do. Do 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 do. Whee! Hold on, I'm gonna land here. Bam. In some sense, it could be culture, but because I don't know enough, I won't use that as my source. First, and factual statistics. But, okay, so those... Right. You could... So what's... Why do you think... What... So you know the result, which is, you know, maybe they commit more crime. Now, hold on. There's this saying. It's called, oh, I always forget it. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. Yeah, but I also know that reasoning isn't economic state. So when you really this because we have this argument, I'm also certain whether you believe I am certain whether you believe me or not. I believe you have this experience. But I don't really know what your conclusion is. Are you saying, oh, they're like this because they have a bad culture? If you think it's not economic, if you think it's not systemic, and if you think it's not culture, no, I never said that. You're gonna... I named off a couple different things. You'll have to mention which specifically. Excuse me. Oh, I gotta change my thing. We got 101. Oh yeah. I never said it was culture or economic. No. I never said that you said that. What you said was, because you said that they're acting this way because those factors here don't matter. Exactly. So if it's not culture and it's not the economy, what do you think it is? Because you could have a bad culture. Maybe you got some shitty culture or some shitty aspects of your culture. That maybe your culture needs to work on. There's a lot of shitty aspects to, people's cultures that I think need to grow and change over time. But if you don't think it's culture, if you don't think it's the economy, then what is it? I'm doing 2 water-based shiny hunts, which really sucks. Yeah. It's the idea of ethnicity grouping together. There aren't anyone here at all. There aren't anyone here at all that are aggressive or undermine them, but they mentally are the idea that because they aren't... Hold on. Oh, get. They mentally get the idea that because they aren't ethnically from here, they are automatically undermined. Because that feeling, so therefore wanted to riot. Right. So you're starting to sound like an American. No, I mean, no offense, because I know you don't have the greatest opinion of America, but you sound like an American. That's an argument an American would make. By the way, about Mexicans. Like, word for fucking word. So you might want to do some self-reflection on that. Just a heads up. And when I say an American, I mean like an American from the South. I mean like a right-wing Republican, just to be clear. Left-leaning people generally wouldn't make that argument. Bum. I wouldn't say so, to be honest, because I don't go towards anyone specific. Fucking, I could technically point at my own mother and say this. Okay. She's first immigrant. Okay. So, are you just saying people... so you're not pointing out a specific ethnicity, but are you just pointing out class? Like, impoverished people in general? Because if that's the case, then that's systemic. That's like economic. Whether you think so or not, it is. Like, that's the problem with like a class system with, you know, lower, middle, higher. That's just the result. No, stop saying economy when I know it isn't about that. It isn't a class system here. Class systems exist everywhere. I don't know where you're getting that. Trust me. In the system, because we all live in the same system. We all live in a capitalist system. And the way it works, there in your country, it may not be as bad, but there is a lower class, a middle, and a higher class. And maybe some of the lower class people enjoy certain benefits, but they still suffer in other ways. And there is still a lower class because we all are under the foot of, like, capitalism. So, and if you're saying, like, everybody in the ghetto, maybe there are here, but the difference is very small. Oh, excuse me, sorry. I'm a little tired. Small enough for poverty to form in a ghetto? Because if you're not singling out, like, a specific kind of people, then it sounds like you're singling out. If it's not class, and if it's not ethnicity, then I don't know, just there's just, like, a neighborhood, a certain section of the city where, like, they're just assholes for no reason. Because, like, it could be certain sections of cities have their own little subcultures. So it could, I'm saying it is about ethnicity, not culture. Oh, see, I mean, you said it. I mean, okay. Like, that's like, do I need to say it? I'm curious if you can come to that conclusion. But you're kind of twisting my words here. I'm just trying to get down to why you believe what you believe. That's why I'm asking all these questions. Because it sounds like you haven't, like, really broke, like, you you have your experiences, and those inform your beliefs, but have you thought about those experiences, why you had those experiences, why they might happen, and not just that they do? I know you're only 16, so I wouldn't, like, no, I mean, 16-year-olds got other shit to worry about. They're not, like, studying epistemology, you know, or philosophy. They're fucking doing 16-year-old shit. I know this because I know them. You know because you know because you know. I mean, that's what it sounds like to me. All right. I'm going to ask you a question, because this might get some gears churning. I know them. I know immigrants. I know statistics. Right. I'm going to ask you a question. This is like an exercise in epistemology, okay? Do you believe in God? Search this because it's been in my own interest. No. Okay, why do you not believe in God? Because why should I? That's a fair answer. Right, so the reason I don't believe in God is because I naturally question religion. And that's fair. The reason I don't believe in God is because I haven't seen sufficient evidence to warrant my belief. And the people who claim God is real have also not supported their beliefs with logical arguments backed by evidence. Whoops. Gosh darn it. Okay. Where was I? Hold on. I have to backtrack a little bit. I believe there could maybe be a fourth dimensional creature controlling some things, but that's a hard maybe. Very interesting. Why do you believe there's a fourth dimensional creature controlling some things? Maybe. Why do you maybe? Like, why do you believe that it might be true? Because I could say, like, maybe there's a purple unicorn flying around the earth who controls my thoughts, but, like, because technically it is possible. That is not true. You have to demonstrate possibility. So something isn't just possible because you say it is. Possibility also needs to be demonstrated. So until somebody can demonstrate that it's even possible, I don't believe it is. And I'm warranted in that belief because because you need to demonstrate possibility. You know, for fun, I can say, like, oh, the flying spaghetti monster. Yeah, but it'd be silly for somebody to take that seriously, especially since it's never been demonstrated to be possible. Okay, sure, that's fair. But quite frankly, we don't know anything about four dimensioned. Okay. See, that is making the assumption that there is a fourth dimension. We don't know because we physically can't comprehend it. Right. So yeah, that's also, yeah, that's like assuming there is a fourth dimension. And there, I don't know the science behind it. That's why I said hard maybe. Yeah. I wouldn't even go as far as to say maybe. Because maybe implies possibility, which I believe also needs to be demonstrated. Everything is, to me, is maybe. Okay. So there's also this, for me personally, I don't believe anything with 100% certainty. You need, it's appropriate and healthy to apply skepticism to all of your beliefs. Even the things you hold true, that you are certain are true, you should hold a reasonable level of skepticism. Otherwise, you're going to fall into traps, and you're going to fall to your biases, and when presented with new evidence or tough questions, you're going to, stand firm in those beliefs when maybe you shouldn't. But what is your thoughts on the immigrant situation in Denmark? Wow. I mean, after talking about, I know general information about immigration in like America. I don't know about Denmark. That's why I've been asking you all these questions. If we wanted to really get into the nitty gritty, I'd have to do some research. But it'd go against my, how do I phrase it? My principles. That might not be the right word, but I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't apply a healthy dose of skepticism to the things you're saying, the claims you're making. Yeah, and immigration in America is so much different than the U.S., so those same principles cannot be. I don't know. Sure, there's going to be different problems, but there's also going to be similar problems. Immigrants are almost like a lot of immigrants, especially if like, I don't know what the immigrant problem is. I'm typing on my phone. Sorry about typing wrong. Oh, it's okay. That might be true. So like when it comes to like Mexican immigration, they're seeking sanctuary. The immigrants in your country may or may not be seeking sanctuary. I don't know if they're coming from somewhere where it's like really rough, like they don't have many rights, or maybe they're war torn, or maybe like they're just, it's like a culture shock. Maybe you're just very taken aback by their culture, and maybe their culture sucks. Like Japanese, there's a lot of cool things about Japan, but they're very hierarchical, and they don't always treat women the best. They have some weird predilections about young women, like, and then I'll get people telling me like, it's just their culture, dog. Like, it's like, no, fuck that shit. It's like, I can argue past their culture and argue how it's wrong just ethically, why you shouldn't diddle younger people. Like, but yeah, I don't know enough about, I don't know enough about like the immigration in your country, but I sure as fuck know it's not because their ethnicity. I know it's not their genetics. It's because that's what you're basically breaking it down to, that they're just genetically shitty little fucks, that they're just genetically bad people. That's what your argument is at the end of the day. Then there's a far better argument you could make that isn't so fucking weird. Okay, I think you misunderstood what I mean, because that's not what I meant. Yeah, maybe. I guess. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt because like you're just typing and I'm asking questions. And there's only so much you can say or so much you can do. In this little scenario. But if you don't think it's culture, because in America we have this. Hi, what Pokemon are you on? I'm looking for Dragali, and I'm going back between Dragali and Dugong. Because I really want this Pokemon. I know it's not part of the 151. I don't mean written down in their that it's written down. Okay, so in America, because it isn't good. I'm glad you said that. Because when we have these conversations in our country, and this would apply to yours, it always comes down to like two things. Culture or genetics. And there's only in that scenario, there's only one right answer, and it's culture. Because if you say genetics, that's not true. There's no evidence that it's genetics. It's also super racist. So, excuse me. I just think it's very funny. So if you're like gonna deny economics, systemic racism, then you're down to two options: culture and genetics. So, and if you just admitted it's not genetics, and you said it's not economic, it's not systemic, then it has to be culture. And you can work on culture. Because my thing applies to every single human on the planet, no matter where you're from. So does culture. Because culture, everybody is a part of culture. Everybody's from somewhere, and they all have their own cultures, and some aspects of their cultures are good, and some are not so good. And that can be relative, but you could also argue in some cases that it's not. It's really often a case-by-case basis. Like, I jumped to Japan, for instance, because like Japan's got a lot of cool things going on for it, and a lot of people praise Japan in a lot of ways. But there are certain aspects of their culture that are bad. I'm evolving Roller Shiny. Roller Shiny. Which one? I think there's a couple Pokemon that are Rolly. Because in the same exact thing in every single... Because it's the same exact thing. Every single thing. That's a little too vague. I can't remember the entirety of our conversation to know what you're talking about specifically. My bad. Ooh, excuse me. Oh, I've been streaming for almost 2 hours. Relor. I don't know if I know that Pokemon. Or if you're abbreviating it. I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry. Had a long day. My son woke up very early, like 5:30, and was just crying and bawling and crying and bawling. I gotta be up. Gen 9 Dirt Ball. Oh, nice. That's a good shiny. If it was too dumb, what I mean down is more a mental idea in all humans. So not culture, economy, or systemic. Mental? So if it was too dumb, if I was too dumb, what I meant down a mental thing. A mental thing. Right, you were saying like a mentality earlier about like, oh, they're told that their shiny is gold ball. Yes, I know. I've heard this argument. This argument is very, very prevalent in the States. That, poor people, black people, Mexican people, have a victim mentality. Maybe in some cases, maybe there are individuals who have a victim mentality. And sometimes they're just victims. They're victims of a systemic fucking racist system. Maybe the people you're talking about are victims of something. It sounds like you're saying that they have a victim mentality, that they're told that they're victims. But why are they told that they're victims? You know, because in our country, and I'd argue that this applies to all people, that like just because you're told that you're victims, which this is a fucking right-wing dog whistle. They aren't told that they're victims. Sorry, I thought you said something like that earlier in our conversation, that they're told something. Oh god, there's so much. Personal experience. Hold on. You said something to that effect, I swear. That they're told that they're bad, so they act bad or something. Right? Am I crazy? Yeah, but you misunderstood what I meant. Okay, could you elaborate? Because I feel like I've heard this argument before. Because despite black people and Mexican people being told that they're victims, they, as a people, fucking don't act like it. I think, like, fighting for your rights isn't a victim mentality. That's like... I think a victim mentality is where you use it as an excuse to try not to fight anymore. I think I'm doing a bad job explaining it. What I'm trying to say. Excuse me. Shiny gold ball. Night kitten. Are you going for anything else after this? That's a cool shiny. By the way, if you guys like get cool shinies or something cool to show us, you can drop it in the Discord. There's a link in the description below on YouTube and Twitch if you want to check out the Discord. Getting pooped. I'm getting pooped here. This conversation is really the only thing keeping me awake. Where are you? I feel like this is going to be one of those scenarios where I find a shiny Skrelp before I find a shiny Dragalge. Oh, excuse me. Don't tell me to take a break. I tell you to take a break. Okay. Not a shiny. Oh, no! I ran into it. When any person is outside their own home. So, I will continue to read what you wrote. But that right there, when any person is outside their own home, that's like a really bad way to think of it. I don't think Mexican immigrants are outside their own home. I view them as Americans. They came here to live a better life. I consider them American. I don't think they're outside their home. I think you should rethink that phrasing, but I'm going to keep reading. Is outside their own home and is mainly surrounded by the others from that place, then mentally in all humans. Okay. Whether English isn't your, I mean, I think I get the gist what you're saying. Who's mainly surrounded by others, then mentally, in all humans, you will develop the idea of being too different from the rest, because naturally humans want to fit into places. That feeling of being different and isolated between creates that sense of I gotta break through and I don't care how. Yeah, so you're gonna get mad. But I have only, and I'm not saying you're racist, but this argument is like word for word the argument of a racist. Like I've only ever heard Nazis make this argument. This is proven, by the way. Yeah, I don't think it's proven in the way that what the fuck was racist about it. Okay, I don't want you to get mad. I'm not calling you a racist. Okay? I just think it's a bad argument. Maybe there is some aspect of this argument that has some truth to it. Some people, you might come here, to a different country. Yeah, you said everyone. But we're talking... You also said that it's... You said everyone. But you also said earlier that you were talking about a specific ethnicity. That directly isn't racist. Okay, but you're applying it to a specific ethnicity. Anyways, maybe might be some aspect of this argument that's like true. You misunderstood that. Maybe. I think maybe you misunderstand what you're trying to say. Because yeah, you can come to a new place and you can feel scared and different, and that might make you act out. But that's only going to be a first generational issue. Okay? Beyond that, if it's like a second generational issue, you are applying to other ethnicities. Sure. So, when you have these conversations, because it's not like when you talk about the immigrant problem, quote unquote, you're talking about groups of immigrants generally from like the same country. I shouldn't say specifically because I don't know what the situation is in Denmark. Like, are these immigrants from fucking Norway? Are they from next door? Like, where are these immigrants from? Because that makes a huge difference. No, it isn't really first generational. Right. I was going to get to that. But I'm curious where all these immigrants are coming from. I should have asked that a long time ago. Badonk. How you doing, kitten? Is it? Nah, kitten. How it be going? Quite frankly, it could be anywhere. That isn't the original country. Let's stop thinking about any place or race in specific because that makes the idea easier to understand. Even Norway, it would happen. Okay. So, I still need you to answer my question. On where they're from? Yes. So where are all of these immigrants coming from? Why and why are they coming to your country? Just not in the place they are. They just have to come from anywhere else. I am asking you where Denmark's immigrants are coming from. Because I think you're mainly? Yes. I'm curious about like mainly or like what the percentages are. Are they 50% from this country, 50% from that country? It actually does, and I promise you there's a point to it. Because I know the argument you're trying to make. Denmark anymore. Well then your argument is null and void, I guess, because if what you're saying is this can apply to everybody, okay, so I'm going to apply it to immigrants in the United States. So yeah, there is some truth that like if you come here, you're an immigrant, and on average Middle Eastern, but tell me why that matters. Culture. Maybe it's a culture shock. Maybe they came from a bad culture because there are some Middle Eastern countries that are riddled with crime and misogyny and a lot of other issues. And they do bring those problems to other countries. And they usually improve over time, generationally. But if they are isolated and forced into certain areas where they don't get to mingle with other people outside of that culture, then it can manifest and fester and become as bad as where they came from. You're making like an argument against immigration, I think. Or maybe not against immigration, but why immigrants are a problem or they cause problems. I'm trying to be good faith. I don't want to make assumptions about your beliefs. So the okay. So the solution, I'm talking about the general thing of immigrants, which I'm honestly against. I'm talking about the general thing of immigration, which I'm honestly against. You shouldn't be against immigration. Immigration, not regarding it. Immigration is good. When there might be some headbutting at first, but it is proven. Immigration is proven when people actually intermingle, because immigration on its own maybe isn't inherently good, but it can bring about good things. So like, for instance, if they're isolated in their own like families, maybe they go to the schools, but then they come back home, and so this kind of brings it back to religion, because religious people go to schools and they intermingle, right? But then they come back home and they're just their brains are forced into believing certain things by their parents, you know, generational trauma, all that jazz. The solution is for different people from different places to intermingle. It reduces crime. It brings about trust within the communities. It cures racism. Immigration is good, and you might have some issues at first, like what you were saying earlier. The way you were saying it was not, I promise you, it wasn't a good way of phrasing it, and maybe that's not your fault. Because people, yeah, they're going to be scared. Maybe they just come from a bad situation and they don't know, maybe they don't know any better. But you can fix that systemically. You could give them a net to, you know, give them something to, you know, give them something to start off with, so they don't have to commit crime, or educate them, you know, on like laws, maybe how socially it works here, and then because you still have to respect like other people's cultures and stuff. Sure, if literally everyone is mixed, that would be a good thing, yes. Do you realize that here they are given a net education, law, and all that? Then there's something else. There's some other problem then. Assuming that the education, like the stuff that's being provided for them is enough. And that's assuming that it's enough. Then there's another problem. Because I promise you that this like mentality of like foreigner in a foreign land will go away. They like if they're allowed to integrate, they will integrate, and they won't be a quote unquote problem. So there's either some information you're not familiar with that you can't provide to me. Because it's also a case-by-case basis, you know? Because I'm pretty familiar with a lot of the issues in this country, but you keep bouncing back to your country. You keep saying this applies to everyone, but then you keep bringing it back to your country. So it's like, oh, if all this applies to everyone, then why are the immigrants in my country so shit? It's like, oh, I wonder why. Why are they so shit? And then you go to this mentality, and that's where my thing comes in place. Can I say one thing? Sure, go for it. Just keep it TOS, I guess. I think I gotta move on to Dugong. I don't know why this Pokemon is giving me such a hard time. I found that Diglett so fast. Wow, that's a lot of Skrelp. They're so hard to see, though. This is a scary amount. Where did all these little fuckers come from? I know Shiny Skrelp is kind of blue. I think I would see it. that a fucking shiny? Is that a shiny? I think I already have this one. You son of a bitch. Okay. I'm saying this mental thing is all places, but there are also other factors added on. And sure, I don't know as much about immigration in America because, no offense, I hate America. Okay. But I know Europe, Africa, and Asia. You know Europe, Africa, and Asia. So by general assumption, it is the case and is the primary factor. So here's the thing, dude. You can use this mental thing, right? But it's not a forever thing. It doesn't last forever. And if you say it does, and I don't know the stuff here. And if you say it does, you're wrong. Because, no, it's not. Because, no, it's, no. Okay, I'm not sure. I don't know. Hold on. So this mental thing about, like, coming to a new country, being scared, unsure, and sort of nervous of the people around you, that is a very relatable feeling. I think that any immigrant might feel. But it's not permanent. And if you say it's permanent, you're wrong. Because in this country, like second and third generation immigrants well mingled into the country and don't feel that way. And they don't commit more crime than other nationalized people per capita. I mean, they don't commit any more crime than, other Americans based on class. So if they're like middle class Mexican, third generation, they're going to commit as much crime as middle class white Americans, statistically. Oh fuck, I have an itch. So this does not last. It can be removed, the mental thing. Okay, cool. But something I said earlier as well, okay? Something you said earlier. Motherfucker, I was really, really bad itch. Oh, fuck. I got a bunch of mosquito bites on my ankle. I'll wait for you to finish before I continue my point. Because it might make a difference. Who knows? Okay. Now, oh god, I think I have 2 of those. Damn, that sucks. I had to Google a word, because I think it might apply to this situation. This is a thing about being very different But since the US, aka the land of immigrants, have such large populations, or all different people around the world, you can then integrate and not get the feeling after the rest of the world isn't the land of immigrants. This is not the case in other places. It may not be the same, but that doesn't mean it can't. You can't. If it can happen in America, it can happen anywhere in the world, and it does. It absolutely does happen. And there are immigrants travel all over the world, and they become integrated into the society. If it's like quote unquote more homogenous, then that's a problem with them being either racist or xenophobic. I had to Google xenophobic because I forgot about xenophobia, which is just the dislike of people from other countries, regardless of race. Race could play a factor, but then that would just be racism and xenophobia. What you're describing is just xenophobic countries being xenophobic. Or maybe immigrants. Immigrants can be xenophobic. It happens. Happens all the time. I have no doubt. Maybe like, oh, we don't want to immigrate here. These people suck. That's xenophobic. It may not have anything to do with race. It's totally possible. Then the problem is a culture not just of the immigrants, but the culture of the place they're immigrating to. They also have a culture problem, and that culture problem is xenophobia. What you're describing is two-sided xenophobia. I guess if it's dumbed down, then the immigrants are xenophobic against the people they are immigrating to, which can happen. But that can be for a number of reasons. It could be psychological. It could be cultural. It could, cultural or psychological. There might be other, reasons. Could be propaganda. There's some really bad propaganda out there. There is a solution to this problem, and there is a root to this problem. It is not, because what you're saying it's inherent to all people. Fear is inherent to all people. Xenophobia is not inherent to all people. Xenophobia is taught. I guess it's dumbed down. Okay. You can unlearn xenophobia. Countries and cultures can be taught to not have to be afraid of people from other countries. They can learn to love and support people from other countries. You can put, I can go on and on. So from what I'm hearing, you believe the larger factor is culture, while I believe it's psych. It's both. Because this people being taught xenophobia is also a psychological issue. So I've almost forgotten what the root of the problem is. The root of the problem is that you have a problem with immigration. And I think you need to unlearn that. Because the problem isn't immigration. It's systemic xenophobia and cultural xenophobia. Because that shit is taught to us. It's not inherent. My thing is more so not xenophobia, but the feeling of loneliness and isolation. You're right, that's a separate issue. But you're applying it to everyone who immigrates. Who is an immigrant. And then you're also adding other layers. So you're against immigration. But immigration is a separate issue from what you're talking about. You're suggesting immigration shouldn't be a thing, or you don't. Maybe you're not saying that. What you're saying is you don't like it because people are lonely and isolated. But if they're properly integrated, and if you're not, like, anybody who moves anywhere is going to be afraid. If I move halfway across the country, I'm going to be afraid. I'm going to feel isolated and lonely. But fucker, I can make friends. Like, and the culture halfway across the country is going to be very different. The United States is a great example because it's just littered with different subcultures. And I know what culture is a larger factor too. Okay, then I think what you need to do is instead of immigration isn't the problem. You don't like immigration? That's a bad take. Because the problem isn't immigration. I think the problem is like people being in like. I mean, it's not really a problem to be alone and isolated because those are just natural feelings people might have. So your problem is the result of people being alone and isolated. So fucking provide them with mental health. Mental help. I could say this a lot easier in Danish. I think we agree, but we word it differently. We don't agree because I think immigration's a good thing and you think it's a bad thing. So we do not agree. Which is fine. We don't have to agree. But immigration is statistically a net positive. People learn and grow from. I never said it was directly a bad thing. Well, directly. Fair enough. But if you don't like immigration, but you don't think it's a bad thing, then it just personally, okay. Then that's like a personal issue then, and you should work on that. Okay, I mean, there you go. The things you describe are things I hear in America all the time. So you could say maybe it's like a language barrier. But it's not like I haven't heard these ideas before. This shit is all over the world. Yeah, we're like, America's the great melting pot. But it's full of people who also don't like immigration. Maybe they don't think it's a bad thing, but they don't like it. Because the people who come here, they cause crime, blah, blah, blah. There are roots to these problems, and there are solutions. And banning or not liking immigration isn't a solution. I think it's a personal problem that I think you should work on. Because if you had an issue with it, and if you cared about whether it was like true, then you wouldn't need personal experience to back up your beliefs, right? You could use evidence, logical arguments backed by evidence. But it just seems, just from this conversation, it just seems like a personal issue. That you, because you've said you've had personal, you literally said that it's been a personal issue and I've had personal experiences. And then you do all this research to, I think, to justify those personal experiences and like to justify your feelings and your bias. I could be wrong, but just based on this conversation, that's what I think. I don't have anything against any person or group in particular. I don't have a bias. Then just admit you're wrong. Or admit that you could be wrong. I could be wrong. Yeah, I could totally be wrong. If somebody wanted to prove immigration was bad, and they had logical arguments backed by evidence, I can't deny the evidence. I could change my mind. I can admit if, like, I could be wrong. I don't think I am, but somebody could demonstrate it and I would change my mind. That's why we have these conversations, right? We all have biases, by the way. I have tons of biases. It's just having the self-awareness to check your own biases is a skill you need to learn, and it's never going to be perfect. We're all prone to it. Nobody's perfect. I'm using evidence, though. But your point is that you don't like him. That your point, that your conclusion is that you don't like immigration. That's a personal belief. You can psychological experimentation. You're just finding reasons to explain your feeling, which is fine. That's a good idea. You should find you understood me a lot. I think you meant to say I misunderstood you a lot. Oh my god. Hold on. Hold on. You understood me a lot. Yeah, I did. Sorry. Yeah, I'm tired. That's okay. I'm tired too. But if I have feelings and I try to find reasons for why I feel the way I do. That's totally valid. But if you personally don't like immigration, you can find all these reasons to explain why you don't like it. But that's, again, a personal issue. And, like, I can't argue with you on your personal feeling, you know? I can try to change your mind, but you're probably gonna come to the certain conclusions on your own. I think maybe having more conversations like this might help change your mind, because it seems like it's just a feeling you have. My reasons for not liking it is valid enough, so are yours. I don't care what you believe. I care what you believe. I think because that's a bad mentality to have. And I think it could lead to you holding animosity towards people who don't deserve it. And having... Oh, yes, shiny, finally. Fucking A. Jesus. So I think you should change your mind. Because you might hurt somebody, maybe not physically, or it just might lead you to have, like, some worse opinions. I'm not doing the best job explaining this, because I don't know how you feel internally. I can only just go off the conversation we've had. I mean, I believe something. I don't have anything against people who are immigrants, except you don't like immigration. And that's based off your personal experiences. So, so what you're saying is, I'm going to use a religious example. I don't hate the sinner, I hate the sin. That's basically what it sounds like you're saying. I don't hate gay people. I just hate gayness. I don't hate immigrants. I just don't like immigration. Which is, it's like, even I might immigrate. Okay. I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's interesting. That's interesting. I think it's more common for people in like European countries to immigrate. At least because I feel like I don't hear about Americans immigrating too often. My words from the start here, and you're holding on to it. You can say I mean, you said you don't like immigration. I don't know what I mean, can you blame anybody for coming to the conclusion that maybe possibly you have a problem with immigrants when you say you don't like immigration? That's like a reasonable jump for people to make. I won't make that jump. I will just have to take your word. Sure, I'm not a fan of immigration as long as a large thing is more of what I meant. Yeah. I mean, sure. Everybody's entitled to like their opinion. I personally think you could and maybe should change your mind. I think that's a bad mentality to have. That's not fair to the immigrants. So yeah, I mean, that's like really, I think as far as this conversation can go. I don't really know where else it can go from here. Hey, babe. Hells yeah, finally. Yes. You know, maybe this can be a learning experience for me too, you know? Maybe I was twisting your words and I didn't know it. Maybe I can share this video with somebody later and say, hey, help me, you know, did I do a good job talking to this person? Was I twisting their words? If I am, because I don't want to twist people's words, you know? I don't want to be that person. I'm certainly not trying to. But yeah, maybe this could be a learning experience for both of us. What kind of, out of curiosity, do you watch a lot of YouTube? Personally feel like you twisted my words quite a bit and kind of attacked me saying that I was wrong. Well, that could be miscommunications, like you said earlier, because like you were kind of saying some suspicious things, because like I've heard a lot of debates and conversations where people are using similar arguments to yours, and their conclusions are not good. But I don't want to put that on you. Just because you make similar arguments doesn't necessarily you have the same beliefs. I don't research on YouTube, if that's what you mean, but the thing you were referring to was not my argument at all. I thought we fixed that. The whole, like, the mentality, the loneliness and isolation thing. I think I thought I understood. I thought maybe at first I didn't. But I think I have come to understand. You know, when you referred to like the southern US or something like that. I have to go check on something. You got that? You got it?
What is it?
I don't know. The cat's probably knocked something over. I guess my wife is going to check on it. Yeah, I mean, I was kind of being funny and hyperbolic a little bit, you know, that the entertainer in me, I guess, the debate bro side of me, because on the surface, like I said earlier, on the surface, your arguments sounded familiar to those I've heard come from, how do I phrase this? Not some from bad faith people. Let's say that. Maybe it was funny to you, but not really to me because you compared me to something not what I believe. Fair enough. I am sorry. You don't deserve that. On the surface, your arguments sounded like arguments I've heard from some really bad faith people. And conversations like that can turn south really fast. Hold on, I'm going to mute my microphone for a sec. I'll be back. Because you... I am back. So you said the conversation would be a lot easier in Danish, which obviously, yeah, sure it would. But have I come to represent your arguments and beliefs responsibly yet? Because maybe I misunderstood at first, but am I still misunderstanding stuff? Actually, well, you're gonna say yes, because you're gonna say I'm misunderstanding. I'm just guessing, but you're probably gonna say that I'm still misunderstanding, and you're probably not gonna change that opinion until I agree with you. Because I think you understand all of my arguments. I feel like you're just hand waving them away sometimes, or just saying or I don't care. Like, I feel that way. That might necessarily not be true, because my feelings aren't always true. Just, you know. Taylor, that's rude. I'm having a conversation with him. There's no heart. This is what I do. Yeah, maybe. Possibly, but I'm going to treat all these Is that a fucking shiny? What? I just dropped down and found a shiny? Let's go, dude. What the fuck? That's crazy. What? I haven't asked him. He might have left because I paused it. Quite. I also haven't slept in like 24 hours now. Ah, I forgot about that. My wife is curious. What's your opinion on trans people? Can't believe I found a shiny. That's awesome. I don't give a fuck. That's cool. Like, yeah, I mean, that's good. I think I know his opinion on that. I think it's also I don't give a fuck. Apparently, yeah. Just don't yell in my face that you're trans. That's a weird thing to say. Yeah, you don't care, but you don't want me to yell. So, I mean, that's because there's a stereotype, and this stereotype goes all the way back to gay people too. It's like, I don't care, and I'm not saying you're homophobic or transphobic. I'm not. Oh, so yeah, because like, it's like, just don't shove it in my face. But like, when they say shove it in my face, what they mean is don't exist, like, around me. That's what they mean. Sometimes there's like people who are very loud about that, but like, people are very loud about being fucking football fans, you know? And like, that could be annoying, but like, it's like, it's weird when you say, like, I don't know. I'm sure you didn't mean anything weird by it. And you even admit it, yeah, it was weird. So, yeah. I don't know, boo. We've been talking forever, so. I more so meant, like, okay, you yelled personal information in my face, why should I care? Right. When you say yell personal information, like, do you mean like you're having a conversation with a trans person and they're like, oh, actually my pronouns are she, her, or they, them? Or do you mean like just a trans person who's angry? Because like everybody gets angry. That's not just a trans person thing. No, I'll respect. Well, see, that implies, because there's this thing right-wingers throw around called the transgender ideology. So they try to pretend that it's like a religion or like an ideology. Trans people existing isn't an ideology. The science and psychology behind trans people and why they're trans isn't an ideology. It's equated. Like it's they try to pretend it is, so that way they can treat them bad, or like treat them like they're this invading force. You know, like fucking missionaries, I guess. I've been getting really lucky tonight with the shinies. What do you mean by just cuz? Cuz like that's different than a fad. So like this whole fad thing is really blown out of proportion. There are people, there's this statistic that oftentimes transphobes will throw out. It's like 98% of trans people desist. I think the word is called desist. And that they use it as if like people who have been trans forever, or who have gone through, they kind of apply it to like the majority of trans people, but that statistic only applies to like trans people who have not sought out any care for being trans. So people who are questioning, but I haven't gone out of their way to identify as the gender, because the people who do, the people who go to the doctor, talk to the psychologist, take hormones, puberty blockers, those people, the desist rate is very, very low. And it's like only 1% of trans people who actually go through the process of transitioning, detransition. And a vast majority of those people detransition for other reasons that are not, like, they're just not trans. Like, they don't have the money, or their family is disowning them, or they're being bullied by transphobes. Like, so, like, people who actually go through the process of transitioning, it's like a 99% rate of transitioners transitioning, and a lot of them are happier for it. I don't care that a person is trans or anything, because that is not important to me at all. To me, it's like saying, oh, I have a mole on my back. It's weird and shouldn't matter at all. Being trans is a personal thing, and I honestly don't care what you do with yourself. That's all great. Try telling that to a transphobe. They're gonna tell you that you're a bad person. Or that, like, okay, go to bed. I'm gonna stream for like 10 more minutes. Yeah. So like that's like I wish it worked that way, Agron. I wish we could all be like, who cares? Like, that's cool, you do you. But then there are people who want to take rights away from trans people. And so it is worth caring. Or like knowing and being like an ally, quote unquote, you know, whatever an ally really means to you. Yeah. It may be... Good night, love you too. It may be harsh in some sense, but it has no fucking meaning to me. You got it, babe. And I will respect, like, saying, oh, call me him, her. Then I'll just be like, sure, okay, that's fair. And that is really good. I'm happy that you have, like, that mentality, because that's just like being a decent like person. Like, yeah, no, I wish we lived in a world where it didn't matter. Like, people can just change their gender and not have it be a big deal. Or what? Okay. I wish we lived in a world where, like, a person's sexual identity or gender identity wasn't questioned and it didn't matter or it didn't come up in conversation. I wish, like, Pride Month didn't have to be a thing. But it's important that these people are visible. And that they live out in the open and get to be their true selves. To spite transphobia and transphobic people. It's really important. But then, for example, there are those rare activists that scream something like, accept me. I don't like those people as a whole, not because of their message, but because they are yelling at me. I mean, sure, like, that's, like, annoying. Yeah, but I don't think the problem... I mean, those people are always going to exist. Loud, annoying people, sure. But at the same time, it's like the reason why people riot, they're not just rioting for no reason. They're rioting because there's an issue. People don't... well, that's not entirely true. Because, like, fucking sports fans will riot. So, people who protest, let's say protest, they're not protesting for no reason. Protests don't turn into riots for no reason. And you can, if you don't want them to be, if you don't want those, like, annoying protesters, those annoying activists, then you should advocate for their rights. Because then they won't need to be loud and obnoxious. Maybe they'll be loud and obnoxious for other reasons. I'd rather them be loud and obnoxious at fucking McDonald's because their order was wrong than them being loud and obnoxious that they don't have their rights. You know? Let's live in a world where the loud, obnoxious people don't have to be loud and obnoxious to exist. Can I get a salute in chat? Salute. Take a quick bath, by the way, so BRB. The stream will probably be over in 10 to 12 minutes, so just FYI, I might not be here. Also, thanks for sticking around for so long. It means a lot. If you get around to it, ask your parents to buy my book. Get your parents' permission. You're 16, I'm sure you can buy your own shit, but, yeah, check out my book, Oregonia and the Legend of the Mies. There's a link in the description below. To me, our convo wasn't really the best one, but yeah, see ya. I thought it was actually pretty productive. Well, not productive, but I'm glad that I think I've gone around to better understanding your point of view. And where you're coming from a lot more. Yeah. And I just happen to disagree with your feeling, I guess. I disagree. I just don't think that's a feeling you should have, and it's something you should work on. So I think that's, I don't. Sorry, I don't really know how else to say it, because I feel like the way I'm saying it isn't super nice. But yeah, immigration's good, and I hope you change your mind. because immigrants can be pretty cool. And they're good for society. Fix loneliness and isolation, and then you won't have a problem. That problem won't exist anymore. You kind of say that like there's something wrong with me mentally. That is not true. I don't think there's anything mentally wrong with you. We're all a product of our experiences and personal beliefs and stuff, and just like I would disagree with like a Christian for believing in God, I don't think there's anything mentally wrong with them. I just think that they have maybe just have a bad epistemology, not a bad epistemology, but a flawed epistemology, because like that's just a weird belief to have. Personally, in my opinion. But yeah, that's kind of how it comes out. I get that it's not what you mean, but it comes out that way. Yeah, it's because I'm just having a hard time expressing it. You know, I'm not perfect. But yeah, I mean, a Christian would say the same exact thing. You know? It's like, I'm sorry, I just don't believe you're God, and I don't think you have you haven't presented good reasons. And I think your conclusion is not backed very well. And they'll say, well, you sound like a dick. I'm like, I don't necessarily, like, sorry you feel that way. Maybe to you, because like you have a personal, you know, you have attachment to this belief. And maybe you feel, what's the word, like people feel attacked when like their beliefs are challenged. It's a normal feeling to have. Anyways, have a good shower, get some sleep. Make some immigrant friends. Go, you know, maybe maybe talk to their parents and learn their stories. Some, you know, stuff like that. Maybe make immigrant friends and then invite them over. I don't know. Yeah, because I think my real issue is the generalization. I don't like the generalization. It's harmful. These ideas you were talking about cause you trying to say this the right way, because you'd probably disagree with me, but it sounds like you're making general statements about a vast swath of people have like negative feelings about a vast swath of people. You're generalizing because of some ideas, or you're using these ideas to justify these sort of icky feelings you have towards them, I guess. I don't know. Towards immigration, which is weird. You know what I mean? Man, if I can get shiny dugong, pretty please. I've gotten everything else on my list today. the last one of the night. Oh, I don't have Seal either. I need Seal and Dugong. Yeesh, dude. Alright. I'm pooped. I don't think I can do anymore. I just can't do it. I can't do it, Captain. Let's see what I got. Cubchoo. I don't know if I have a shiny Cubchoo. Dang it. I'll have to double check. Colorwatrel. Annoyed that I got one of it. Jeez. I got 4 shinies. 2 shinies that I was after, and 2 bonus ones, which is cool. Nice. Right. Peace. Peace, y'all.